Hello, my name's Ashley with Cal State Fullerton, and today I'll be doing my informative speech. In 2018, Beyonce and Serena Williams both spoke out about healthcare bias towards Black people, stating, "Black women are overlooked in healthcare." According to Healthline on March 1st, 2019, people reported wondering, if Beyonce and Serena Williams can't get access to healthcare, how can we? This issue was brought to light in October of 2019 when scientists discovered a healthcare risk prediction algorithm, a major tool used for more than 200 million people in the US, demonstrated racial bias. As Forbes on October 29, 2019 states, organizations continue to replace human decision making with algorithm. The risk inherent in using historical data to train machine learning algorithms to make predictions, and it needs to be discussed. So today we will script out what an algorithm is, next decode the causes, and finally open a window of implications. According to Science News on October 2018, an algorithm, also known as algo, is a set of instructions that describe how to perform a certain task. Today, they are used to target online ads, recognize faces, and find patterns in large-scale data sets. The one we will be discussing today is found in high-risk management software programs implicated by healthcare providers across the nation. Science magazine explained that the algorithm is used to identify patients with health conditions that are likely to lead to more serious complications and higher costs down the line. Zid Oppenmeyer, a UC Berkeley professor and lead researcher of the algorithm, told the Washington Post on October 2018, "It's like a VIP program for people who really need extra attention with their health. The goal is to take care of these patients before their conditions worsens by keeping them healthier, which will keep costs down the line." The formula has been in use for over a decade. The bias was just discovered on October 2019, by researchers of the UC Berkeley and Partners Healthcare. The algorithm was first linked to Optum, a leading health service company under United Healthcare. The discovery of a nationwide bias in our healthcare industry brings a need of attention. But how exactly is a healthcare computer algorithm bias? Dr. Obermeyer mentioned that it was almost by accident that he and his colleagues stumbled across the bias. However, the researcher noted the strange pattern. Black patients that had been assigned the same high-risk scores as white patients were far more likely to see their health deteriorate over the following years. The researchers decided to conduct a study to find the answer. According to MIT Technology on October 2019, they explained that the healthcare records of almost 5,000 patients and 6,000 self-identified Black and around 24,000 self-identified white. The researchers compared the algorithm risk scores with the patient's health history. Patients with the same risk score should, in theory, be equally sick. However, researchers found that Black patients with the same risk score as white had on average 24% more chronic illness. Because Black patients' health care costs was less than or in par with wealthier white patients, the data was less likely to flag legible Black patients for high-risk care management. Instead, the algorithm began being trained to find the sickest patients. New Science on October 2019 explains that it ended up being trained to find the patients who spent the most money. That meant the algorithm was incorrectly steering Black patients away from the care coordinating program. Of course, the data was not incorrectly racist. In fact, it specifically excluded race. Cost is not a racial bind metric. According to Verge on October 2018, historically, Black patients have incurred lower health costs, spending $18,000 less than medical costs per year than white patients with the same chronic condition. Using cost led the formula to incorrectly conclude that Black patients must be healthier since they are spending less on healthcare. However, the ugly truth is Black patients have less access to healthcare than white wealthier patients. Dr. Obermeyer explained to NBC News on October 24, 2018, that algorithms by themselves are neither good nor bad, but the risk that the algorithm ends up perpetrating are all the bias we currently have in our healthcare system and our greater society. It furthers the vicious cycles that we currently want to break. Now that we understand of what an algorithm is and the causes, let's complete some implications. First, Nature on October 26, 2019 states that the system is widely used around the United States for good reasons. The formula is used to produce which patients will benefit from the most from extra assistance, which allows providers to focus their limited time to researchers where they are most needed. According to U Chicago News on October 28, 2018, cost can be a very effective way to summarize how many healthcare needs someone has. But while cost is a unreasonable proxy for health, it can be a biased one. The choice is what introduces bias into the algorithm, which leads me to the second implication. Dr. Mule explained that the formula are trained by us. They are a reflection of our existing inequalities. According to the Wall Street Journal on October 25, 2019, historical racial inequalities are reflected in today's healthcare. For example, Black patients may have to take time off work for treatment. Since Black patients disproportionately live in poverty, it may be harder for them to call out of work for a day and take pay cut. In addition, expenses for medication may be an additional reason to avoid seeking healthcare for those reasons who cannot afford it. The New York Times on December 6, 2018 explains, we are increasingly putting a lot of trust in algorithms to tell us what to do, how to behave, how to treat patients, and how to target interventions. It is unsettling in a way to think about these models that we just take for granted are systematically disadvantaging patients. The good news is that the algorithm bias is fixable by just changing what the formula is supposed to implicate. The researchers developed two alternative models, one that zeroes out in avoidable costs like emergency visits, hospitalizations, on one of the focuses on health outcomes rather than costs. Both methods show improvements in reducing bias. Currently, only 17% of Black patients receive additional attention. If the portion was removed, the number would skyrocket at 46%. The researchers shared their discovery with the manufacturer of the formula, which then analyzed its national data set of more than 3.7 million commercially insured patients. Together, they experimented with the two models that combined health predictions with cost predictions, ultimately reducing the bias to 84%. Well, the problem is fixable, Dr. Mo tells LA Times on November 3rd, 2019. It is mutually a question of who in the health industry is willing to lose a couple bucks to break the cycle of bias. In conclusion, Today we first got a computer lessons on an algorithms and what they are. Then uncovered how this healthcare design is biased, and finally discussed some implications for the future of the formula. While these breakthroughs are advancing our technology, Dr. Mule tells Discovery News on December 14, 2018, many are being founded to replicate or be influenced by long-standing social, culturally, and institutional bias. They were meant to overcome. As computer systems determine which job candidate should be interviewed, who should receive a loan, or how to triage a sick patient. The method that powers them run the risk to automatic racialism or other human bias. However, when properly studied and addressed, algorithms can be a part of the solution. Understanding how to repair the formula can potentially bring a better light to our society, especially in the conditions that we're in right now.